open you, because that would not be awesome. So I'm going to be mainly talking about Subarus in general, but this still can be done on any vehicle. It's not just Subaru related, it is any vehicle. So the first thing you should do to your engine to prevent any oil from getting inside of your intake and whatnot is an air oil separator, or at least a catch can. So inside your engine you got a lot of moving components, lots of oil pressure and whatnot, and your engine needs to breathe, so there's vents inside your engine that bring the air back into your intake and whatnot. So occasionally oil does get inside of these vents there and then does travel back through your intake and then eventually inside of your combustion chamber, and then in turn you burn oil. And if you've noticed that you do lose oil every time you do an oil change, then yeah, that's pretty much why. It's the main reason, unless you have an oil leak. So it is not an easy, it's not an easy install, I've got to say that. I've done it on my car, but it does definitely help prolong the life of your engine, because you don't want to burn oil, because it'll just, deteriorate all the pistons and the rings and whatnot. You just don't want that. So that's definitely a recommendation for you guys to definitely do on your car. I also want to say this, this is not going to be a list of easy mods to do. This is all have to do with the engine and whatnot. So if you're a beginner and you haven't modded a car, I did a video of 5 easy beginner mods that you can do to your car just to get it all started and whatnot. But this is just basically focusing on the engine and to keep it nice and healthy and prolonging the engine life so you can have the most fun out of it instead of actually getting a new block because you blew it up. Alright, so number 2 on my list is going to be headers. So on a lot of makes and models, headers are fine, they're equal lengths, but on the Subarus in general, they do have the unequal length headers. So if you don't know what unequal length headers are, they're pretty much when your engine creates the power stroke and it needs to exhaust all the fumes. There's the tubes that go to your turbo, down out to your tailpipe and your exhaust. So basically on a Subaru we got 2 cylinders over here and 2 cylinders over there, and basically these 2 cylinders on the passenger side have a shorter distance to travel to the turbo instead of the ones on the driver's side. So it's probably at least twice as long for the pulses to get to the same collection source. So the unequal length headers is how the Subaru gets that distinct sound, the Subaru rumble. And to prevent that, you can get equal length headers, which basically makes these runners the same distance, which brings the runners towards the driver's side and back around to make them equal lengths. So thus you do get horsepower benefit out of it. Yeah, so these ones have to travel a lot longer, which then in turn leads to ringline failure, and you don't want that on your car. If you're looking to get a lot of power out of your car, trying to mod it and whatnot, you're gonna be creating a lot of heat with all these new mods and whatnot. So what I would suggest for number 3 is to get an upgraded radiator. So more heat, more coolant that needs to flow through, the more it needs to cool down, because all of your power that you're making is going to heat it up a lot faster. So you need a good way to cool all your coolant down to keep it at a nice operating temperature. And that's the last thing you want, is anything overheating, and having heating issues and whatnot is a pain. So just switch out the radiator and you will be fine. So number 4 on the list is something that's recommended on all turbocharged cars, is gauges. So it is a good and easy, quick way to actually see and monitor what your car is doing, and if there's a problem or not, you can do something about it. So basically the 3 gauges that they do recommend is an air-fuel ratio gauge. That is number 1. Basically, if you burned all your fuel or you have leftover fuel, it'll let you know when you're accelerating. You always want a little bit more fuel than air, but then when you let off the throttle nice ratio that you want when you're idling is a 4.7 air to fuel ratio. That is ideal for the amount of combustion and all the burnt off fuel that should be done throughout your engine. And if you notice any difference, you will be able to see it inside your gauge. Another gauge that you should get is a boost gauge. You need to know how much pressure you're actually dealing with when you're going full throttle with your car. You don't want to over boost, and if you under boost and you have a leak, it'll let you know as well, because you won't reach your peak boost. So yeah, that's a good way to know if that stuff's happening. And also you want a oil pressure gauge. So basically you want to know if all the oil is circulating properly, you have nice pressure. Because if you don't have enough pressure inside your vehicle, you are going to get not enough oil circulating throughout the engine, and obviously that's going to be bad. You're going to spin a bearing. Just really, really bad things can happen if you don't have good oil pressure. So yeah, those are the 3 gauges I do recommend, and also having temperature gauges and whatnot. But there is a whole whack of different gauges that you can get. Alright, so the last thing on my list is I'm going to recommend you do proper maintenance on your car. Either it's OEM or aftermarket, doesn't really matter. Just do your maintenance. Make sure your oil change is done regularly. Same with the coolant, spark plugs, that's a big one. You just want to make sure it's all maintained, because you're spending all this money on modifying your car and whatnot. You don't want like just maintenance to be the cause of your engine going and whatnot. So that is something you should keep up on and keep track of. So if you guys stayed this long into the video, that's awesome. I do appreciate everyone who has stayed this far, and since you have, I'm going to give you a number 6. Surprise, surprise. So the most important thing that you can do to your engine is get a closed deck and get forced pistons. So it's not bulletproofing your engine, it's just making it so it's like the toughest it can be. So inside of the Subaru engine, you have your cylinders, and then you got the channels where all the coolant goes through. If you get a closed deck block, it'll actually close all the channels around it, so it has more reinforcement on the cylinders. Because a really known problem with these blocks is they do tend to bend, and with like the heat warp and whatnot. So when you get a closed deck, it'll reinforce it, so that will not happen. And also forged pistons and all the upgraded rods, bearings, just everything you can do to your engine. That is probably the best thing you can do to get the safest reliable power out of your engine and not have to worry about anything. Of course, nothing does last forever. This is just prolonging all of your mods and whatnot, so you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, because basically if you just put a big turbo on a stock engine, it ain't gonna hold all that power, and you are gonna pay the price, and you're gonna have to get a new block anyways. So if you blow your engine, you might as well upgrade it, get your forged pistons, closed deck, make it more reliable than it once was. With going aftermarket and getting those forged pistons, closed deck, you got nothing to worry about. Of course, I'm not going to say that it's bulletproof. They do have a tendency to fail, obviously, but the percentage is much, much lower than stock. So that's what I do recommend. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked it, you know what to do. If you guys want to see more and what I do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's just the red button down below. And if you don't want notifications every time I upload, just hit that notification bell, and I'll send you a notification every time. Yeah, so with that said, we'll see you guys in the next video.